This was a ritual that our founder, Ellen Stewart, started. Today is actually her birthday. I woke up actually remembering that and thinking, oh, how amazing is it to be here with all of you on this momentous day. My name is Mia. I'm the artistic director of LaMaMa and part of the team here. I'm so grateful to be in this room with all of you. Wow. I guess I wanted to start a little bit about our history. Many of you probably know some of it, but LaMaMa started in 1961 when our founder, Ellen Stewart, saw a need in this neighborhood for marginalized, underrepresented, non-traditional artists to have a platform, a home. And she was a force of nature, and she made that home for so many artists, groups, companies, communities. And with her and a lot of colleague spaces and venues, a countercultural, and the energy in this country, a countercultural movement occurred. Now, people didn't come to see this alternative work. Critics wouldn't come. So Ellen thought, oh, maybe if we went abroad, we could create a sensation, get noticed, have these reviews, and come back and people might pay attention to what we were doing. And so she bought one-way tickets and went overseas. And that also changed what was happening here at LaMaMa. She saw the power of what these cross-cultural exchanges did for the artists. She saw that not only did it open up their hearts and minds to new perspectives, new ways of thinking, but it also strengthened their identity. It really showed them who they were and a deeper understanding of themselves because they were in conversation with people and communities that were different from their own. But in this moment, I thought, oh, I want to talk about this idea of the one-way ticket. Because I was with some Columbia students and that part of the story really hit them. And I was like, yeah, one-way ticket. I don't think any of us would think about with multiple companies going on a tour with one-way tickets in this day. And I thought, wow, in this moment, how transformative it would be for us to have that kind of courage. And the courage that we need in this moment to break open new models and new ways of doing what we thought were possible, and have the trust that we are going to support each other through that process. So I hope in this day, I mean, it's been 2 days, but in today's sort of conversations and all that people are going to bring, that we think about that courage and trust, and we build that together.
Got to adjust this for the shorties, right? Hi guys, how's everybody doing this morning? How are you feeling? We're all here together? Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Simon and CEC. Thank you, Mia and LaMaMa, for having us. We're really excited to be here with you all. I brought some words with me. I hope it's okay. I don't want to leave anything out. I'm Ashley. I'm the co-founder and co-executive director of Artistic Freedom Initiative. I think many of you in this room probably know us already, but for those who don't, I wanted to take a minute to introduce our organization to you. We are a New York City and now Geneva-based nonprofit led by immigration and human rights attorneys. And our mission is to provide pro bono immigration representation and resettlement assistance to international artists who have experienced restrictions on their free expression, and most of whom have been forcibly displaced. As part of this work, we run residency programs and public programs to develop and showcase the work of the artists that we support, such as the concert that we're honored to host tonight, featuring AFI musician in residence Mehrnam Rastagari, and I hope that many of you will join us. Can I see a show of hands who's coming to the concert tonight? Even if you're not, just lie and put your hand up. Come on, it'll make me feel better. Okay, good, I love it, love to see it. Since AFI's inception in 2017, we are very proud to have taken on thousands of at-risk artist cases from over 60 countries around the world and provided well over $5.5 million in pro bono legal and resettlement assistance to artists at risk. Our direct services, we try to take a unique and holistic approach to this. They're really designed to support the artists that we work with at each stage of their relocation, resettlement, and professional development journeys. Our global advocacy work, which is newer for us but is growing and expanding, is designed to fight for systemic change on the ground where artists are being suppressed. AFI's artist-centered ethos has allowed us to form years-long mutually supportive relationships with countless artists in our network. We have many of them here with us today. Hi, y'all. You just raise your hands. And I'm really excited for those of you who are here with us today to get to hear directly from them later. So I think all of us here know that artists are censored, persecuted, and exiled because their voices challenge power, expose truth, create connection, and imagine freedom. We stand with them because defending artistic freedom is not just about protecting creativity, it's about protecting a fundamental human right. In today's political climate, when the arts, free expression, immigration, and human rights are increasingly under attack, our work at the intersection of these areas is more urgent and unfortunately more difficult than ever. But it's in moments like these that artists remind us that our shared humanity and we have this capacity to create change together. Immigrant and exiled artists bring a unique spirit of resistance and renewal to the United States, a nation whose cultural richness has always been shaped by those who crossed borders seeking both safety and freedom. Their contributions remind us that our collective story is still being written in many languages, on many canvases, and across many stages. To truly support resettled artists at risk in particular, we need to do more than offer refuge. We have to build bridges between the fields of arts and culture, human rights, philanthropy, academia, and others to create sustainable systems of support in the US and beyond. These are the bridges that are going to form the infrastructure, the ecosystems, and the communities that allow resettled artists at risk not just to survive, but to thrive and to continue making work that moves and transforms us all. So this is really my and our call to action to each of you, and I think is really at the heart of why we're all here today. And I'm just so grateful that you've joined us. And with that, I'll turn it over to Simon. Thank you.
So thank you all for being here, and a warm welcome to all those following us on live stream from around the world. We're assembled here in Lenapehoking, the unceded territory of the Lenape peoples, and we recognize them as the guardians and protectors of this land, and we honor the Lenape peoples, both past, present, and future. So I'm Simon, director of CEC ArtsLink. And I was going to apologize for getting you here early, but now I need to doubly apologize because not only were you here early, we started late. So I apologize for that. But the reason we wanted you to be gathered here is because we're actually facing a serious moment. It seems that for the first time, there's a real existential threat to art as an expression of freedom of ideas, of freedom of thinking. And that threat is not just from this current government, it's from all those institutions that we used to think we could rely on, who seem to have failed to respond to Timothy Schneider's first lesson on tyranny, which is to not obey in advance. So many of you here, I know, are from authoritarian countries, and I hope not as goldenly embellished as ours is at the moment, but I know you'll recognize what you are seeing and that this is a familiar playbook to many of you. I have to say, many people said it was great that you organized the election in New York the week of the assembly. And I said it wasn't quite like that, but what it has given us, I think, is a great sense of momentum, a real clarity that there is both a desire to not just to resist, but to work actively and to stand up for the principles that we live by and which we uphold and which we know are vital to the idea of building the kind of world we want to inhabit. And I think the time is now. In effect, the future begins now. And as a field, I think it's important that we're not just resilient, and this word is used relentlessly, but it's now really time to build a cooperative and strategic framework that can not just enable us to survive, and I use that word advisedly, but actually to evolve and to grow and to build the kind of future we want to live in, and the way in which we can support both the art and the artists we know are critical to that kind of world in which we wish to inhabit, where freedom of thinking, freedom of expression, and freedom of ideas is both the currency of artists, but also the dialogue that can be set up and generated around communities and around the world. I need to make a few thank yous very quickly. Mia, of course, and her amazing team here at LaMaMa for hosting us. I want to thank Ashley and her extraordinary team at the Artistic Freedom Initiative, who's been really our thinking partners on plotting with us relentlessly, they will say, but it has been a really important part of how we evolved the thinking around yesterday and today. And I also want to thank all the artists that we've been consulting with, talking with, and they've been giving us their bandwidth, their attention, and their thinking as we developed the programming for today. So thank you to the artist community who we engage with. And last but not least, I really want to thank Barbara Lanciers and her extraordinary team at the Trust for Mutual Understanding. Barbara is here somewhere. Barbara is an extraordinary supporter of the work of CS ArtsLink. In fact, the Trust for Mutual Understanding were one of the founding partners of ArtsLink. Actually back in '92, not quite '61, but the organization had been running since the '60s, but ArtsLink was set up in '93. The first ArtsLink fellows came in 1993. And TMU have been supporting us right through that period and have funded this assembly today. So thank you, Barbara, and the Trust for Mutual Understanding. So finally, I just feel we have a lot to do today. I know many of you were working hard yesterday and plotting how this afternoon's sessions will go. But I think it's critical that we are able to strategize how best we can defend what we all know is vital for the kind of world we want to live in, and hopefully be inspired and motivated by one another, and to find ways in which we can move forward, defending each other, of course, but for as long as that takes, until we can create a way forward in which we are all evolving and thriving. So thank you so much for being here. It's a great day, lots to do and think about, and your participation will be encouraged and welcome. This morning, the process is very much receiving perspectives, and this afternoon will be a lot of time for conversation amongst all of us. So thank you for being here. Stay for lunch, be here for the afternoon, and as Ashley would say, see you at the concert. Thank you.